Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and this is the ECS Liva Q2, which is a tiny little desktop computer, basically. We've seen this sort of device in the last couple of years, and at the Consumer Electronics Show, ECS is showing off a new version that has a similar design, but new processors. So it's available with Intel Gemini Lake, an N4000 dual-core, N4100 quad-core, Celeron, or Pentium N5000 quad-core processor. Up to 4 gigs of RAM, up to 64 gigs of storage, and it's got a micro SD card slot, a couple of USB ports here on the front, and on the back we've got Ethernet, audio, and HDMI. So this is really kind of the smallest desktop computer you're likely to see anywhere. Unfortunately, the lighting here is not great, but you can sort of get a sense of just how little it is in my hand there. Now, ECS has a couple of other devices that they're showing as well. So this is the Liva Z2, which I'll bring the camera a little closer so you can see. This also has the same basic processors, but it's got more room for more ports, EMC storage under the hood, HDMI, Ethernet, dual Ethernet on this particular model, and gigabit Ethernet. So that one, the larger size sort of allows you to fit more things in it. It supports up to 8 gigabytes of RAM and an optional 2.5-inch hard drive. I should point out that the small one here is actually a device with a fan in it. There's not really enough room for the passive cooling alone to do anything there. Here we got the Liva Z2 V, which is basically pretty similar. The Liva ZE, which has an Intel Apollo Lake processor. I think this one actually has been around for a little while. And these guys are kind of interesting. This is the Liva O1 H310, which is a little bit larger, but it's a sort of compact profile. It doesn't take up a lot of space, and it's available with up to an Intel Core, 8th generation Intel Core processor. This is basically the same device, but it's the SF110A320, and that A might stand for AMD, because this one's available with AMD Ryzen 3, 5, and 7 processors. My understanding is that they're basically laptop-class processors, the 15-watt U series. If we look at the back, it's going to be the same on both of them. You can see we've got a bunch of ports here. So we've got serial, 2 display ports, HDMI, Ethernet, VGA, a bunch of USBs. And so these are things that you could use for digital signage, or you could use them for home theater, or just about anything else that you might want a small form factor computer for. We've got the Liva 1 Plus CL here. It's similar, but a little bit thicker. So you can see that the overall profile is not too different from the thinner model, but it's got a larger chassis here. This one supports up to 32 gigs of RAM, up to a Core i5 8th generation processor, and separate audio jacks here. Seems like a more consumer-centric set of ports, if you ask me, on the back. And then most of these guys have been around for a little while, but I want to show you something else which is new, which is an updated ECS Liva 1. So this guy here is with the 8th generation Intel Core processor, up to 32 gigs of RAM, M2 2280 slot, and a SATA 2.5-inch hard drive bay for a hard drive or a solid-state drive. But it has far-field voice detection, so it should work with Alexa. I'm not sure. I haven't actually tried this. I saw somebody else demo it, but let's see if it works. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 12:51 p.m.
So that we're in a kind of noisy environment here, and it worked reasonably well, but I'm also right in front of it. But theoretically, because it has a dual microphone array, it should be something that you could use from across the room as well. So that's a quick look at some of the new ECS Liva devices at the Consumer Electronics Show. I just remembered I forgot to point out that one of these guys actually has an Intel Movidius card in it for machine learning, for on-device machine learning and processing, and you can use algorithms to do some interesting things with that as well. So I'm just going to zoom in here on the video and show you that we're a little out of focus, so I guess I'll walk up there. That we've actually got a computer, the M520 with an Intel Apollo Lake processor, but it does have that Movidius card underneath, and so it's hooked up to a camera, and it is in real time detecting people as they walk by. It can detect up to 6 different people at once. So this is something that you could use more for a small form factor, sort of low power device that has Intel's accelerated machine learning algorithms using libraries that Intel makes available. So that's a quick look at the overview of what ECS is showing off in its Liva lineup at CES 2019. This is Brad Linder with Liliputing.